5 home videos, so unsettling you shouldn't watch them alone. These are uploads from real people, captured on phones, on security cams, on TikTok, and each one contains a moment that resists easy explanation. Tonight we walk through 5 of those moments. You'll see objects move without touch. Children point to things adults can't find, a rock that behaves like a living thing, and a basement that seems to answer back. We present what was recorded, how those who lived it reacted, and a few possible earthly explanations. Decide for yourself. This is a compilation of user-submitted clips and viral posts. Each segment is short. Each one ends with the same unresolved question. Can a camera be the only witness to something real? We begin with a Reddit security clip that starts small, and then gets stranger. The camera sits in a living room. The uploader is credited only as a Reddit user. A quiet evening. The TV is off. On the couch, a remote rests within reach. The footage shows that remote begin to slide, slowly at first. Then it slides faster and falls. The TV, without any visible input, clicks on. A dark vertical shadow drifts across the wall near the hallway. It's thin. It moves without the gait of a person. Later, the couch cushions compress as if someone has sat down. An impression appears where no one is sitting. The cat, which has been dozing on the rug, lifts its head, arches its back, and walks away with hair lifted along its spine. Later footage from the same house, captured in the kitchen, shows a dark orb sweeping across the camera lens. A plate and utensils are flung against the counter. Cupboard doors swing open and shut on their own. The household's reaction, posted alongside the clips, is raw: confusion, fear, sleeplessness. Neighbors weigh in the comments. Some suggest wiring issues, drafts, or the camera being tampered with. Others say the timing is too precise to be accidental. There are a few straightforward possibilities. Older remotes sometimes slide when cushions shift. A loose dimmer or a power surge can make a TV turn on. Reflections, dirt on the lens, or a lens flare could create the orb-like effect. Editing or staged sequences are also possible. After all, viral videos are lucrative and easy to manipulate. Even so, the combined sequence, the moving remote, the shadow that doesn't match a polite human silhouette, the sudden couch impression, the cat's behavior, creates a chain of moments that feel less like a single prank and more like an unfolding disturbance. What do you think ties these events together? Is it a string of mundane coincidences? Or is something else brushing against the edges of that house? But that was just the beginning. Next comes a clip from Kin, a TikTok user in Panama who posts a video of a meteorite, or at least something that the uploader calls a meteorite, falling into a yard. The initial footage is already strange. A bright flash in a dark yard, the thud of impact, a small crater, and a burnt patch of grass. Kin collects the object and brings it inside. Once indoors, the rock behaves in ways a rock shouldn't. The surface appears to pulse faintly. Its color shifts subtly under different lights. Leaves near the crash site blacken and curl, as if scorched. On subsequent posts, viewers watch as a slim, fleshy growth seems to emerge from a fissure. It expands over hours in sped-up footage. Kin documents a pungent, sour odor and posts attempts to contain the object. A lockbox, a freezer, a sealed plastic bin. The comments explode. Some call it a hoax. Some warn of biological contamination and urge Kin to notify authorities. Kin posts again, pleading for advice and explaining precautions taken. The last public image lingers, a padlocked freezer with frost forming around its seams. There are technical and mundane explanations that fit parts of this narrative. Thermal shock can create strange fractures and color changes in meteorites that have just entered an atmosphere. Certain minerals oxidize and change hue when exposed to air. Organic growths could be contamination introduced after impact. The smell could come from sulfuric compounds or from the decomposition of plant matter in the crater. And yet, The way the object seems to swell and the speed of the changes in the videos prompt other questions. Did something hitch a ride inside that rock? Is this an elaborate fabrication of practical effects? Kin's recordings are vivid and visceral. They force the viewer to consider both lab-based explanations and the possibility of something more anomalous. If you had a piece of space rock on your kitchen counter, what would you do? Most people in the comments say the same. Call a lab, call a university, or at least don protective gear. Kin does not provide laboratory confirmation. The results remain unsettled, and public debate fills the gaps. If you've got footage like this, send it to the email in the description. We'll consider featuring the most credible uploads in future episodes. The third clip moves back inside homes and into the tender, unnerving testimony of a child. This one is posted by Kelsey on TikTok and centers on her young niece. In a quiet, careful way, the niece describes a figure she has seen. She says it is very tall, too tall to fit in the doorway. She describes it as bold and dark, with a smile that doesn't make any sound. She gestures upward when she speaks about its height, palms open. Kelsey asks gentle follow-up questions. The child adds that it sometimes touches the ceiling and sometimes stands outside the window looking in. A younger sibling later repeats similar details. The same height, the same smooth head, the same silent smile. No one in the family reports seeing it during the day. No physical evidence appears in ordinary photos. But there is a chilling specificity in the descriptions. Not just something, but a tall, bald thing that smiles silently. Children are vivid storytellers. Their imaginations can conjure complex images. Sleep paralysis, night terrors, and hypnagogic hallucinations are documented phenomena that may explain frightening nocturnal visions. Yet corroboration by multiple children in separate rooms makes a purely psychological explanation harder to accept at face value. It doesn't prove the supernatural, but it does complicate dismissal. In the comments, viewers recommend recording with baby monitors and reassure Kelsey that many families have faced imagined and real threats alike. The tone is protective. As parents watch these clips, they trade practical advice, increased lighting at night, safe sleep checks, and comforting routines. Whatever the root cause, shared imagination, a play-acting sibling, or something else entirely, the footage forces adults to listen closely to children's fears and to take action to protect them. Then there's Dakota. Dakota's account reads like a household under siege, small disturbances that escalate into events no parent wants to ignore. Her posts begin with oddities. A toy that powers on when no one touches it, a bowl that suddenly flies off a shelf. Her videos escalate. A clip from the living room shows couch cushions bulging outward as if a face is pressing through them. The outline is brief, half seen, and then gone. There are recordings of the family's infant waking in the night, screaming inconsolably, unable to fall back asleep, and later describing someone, a big man, who wants them to get away from. The child's night terrors intensify, and the family, reaching for relief, performs a cultural cleansing. They call in relatives to bless the house. Posts document the rituals without sensationalizing them. Candles, prayers, the careful removal of items believed to be attracting attention. Public reaction is divided. Some viewers applaud the family for taking comfort where they can. Others say the actions could be reinforcing fear and suggest practical fixes, new locks, cameras, or professional counseling for the child. There are practical explanations for many of Dakota's observations. Faulty electronics can turn on by themselves. Vibration from HVAC systems or neighboring traffic can nudge a poorly balanced bowl. Pets can knock objects in ways people misinterpret, and fabric can fold to appear like a face under certain light and angles. Sleep disorders and trauma can manifest as intense night terrors in infants and toddlers. Yet while each event alone might be plausible, the accumulation, multiple toys activating across rooms, the airborne bowl, The brief image in the cushions and the child's repeated anxiety creates a pattern that a family cannot ignore. Their response is both protective and cultural. They seek ways to feel safe again. Whether those methods address a physical cause or soothe a spiritual concern depends on what you believe. The clips stand as a portrait of fear in a private home and a family's efforts to reclaim normalcy. The final clip comes from a creator documenting a basement renovation. The channel had a modest following: DIY videos, progress shots, finishing tips. One night a walkthrough is posted while the creator talks about plans for insulation and lighting. Mid-tour, the camera catches the sound of running footsteps above the basement ceiling. The sound is quick and deliberate. 3 or 4 steps, then silence. The creator stops talking and listens. The handle of a nearby door rattles as if someone is trying it from the other side. Later footage, recorded during a different session, captures a whisper. A thin female voice murmurs a single word: "Leave." The whisper is faint but distinct, layered over the drywall noise. The creator continues filming across a span of weeks, documenting creaks, small knocks, and the occasional shifting of tools. Then, the uploads stop. After a 2-year silence, people in the comments note that the last videos end abruptly, with the basement left unfinished and the channel dormant. Sensible explanations exist here too. Old houses settle, pipes knock, drywall flexes when temperatures change. Sound travels oddly through stairwells and air ducts, making above-floor footsteps seem close. A misaligned door or wind can rattle a handle. The whisper could be an audio artifact, a neighbor, or, less likely but possible, a deliberate prank played for camera. Still, the narrative arc of a creator documenting progress only to halt uploads leaves an emotional gap. The unfinished basement becomes a literal frame for unresolved questions. The renovation remains incomplete while the footage keeps repeating in viewers' minds. When you step back from each of these 5 moments, patterns emerge. Ordinary objects move. Children and pets act as early detectors: sudden attention, alarmed behavior. Recordings capture fragments that our memory smooths into something bigger. Viral communities weigh in, dividing the evidence into hoax and haunting. Each clip contains plausible non-paranormal causes, and in every case, there are commentators who argue convincingly for wiring issues, camera tricks, misperception, and prank setups. None of that, however, fully diffuses the unease. Ask yourself, why does a remote sliding across a couch feel different than remote falling off a table? Is it the sequence, the way the cat reacts? Why does a rock that pulses make us imagine it is alive rather than chemically reactive? Why do multiple children describing the same figure raise our alarm beyond a single child's nightmares? Part of the answer is narrative. Our brains seek patterns and agency. Another part is the medium, video records and freezes moments we might otherwise dismiss. Hearing a whisper that might be "leave" creates an intimacy that text alone cannot. The more specific the detail, the harder we find it to shrug off. We also must keep a steady skepticism. Tools can lie. Cameras have lenses and frame rates and compression artifacts. People stage things for likes. Confirmation bias recruits viewers to see what they already fear. In several of these clips, practical tests could make a difference. Checking the remote's battery compartment for hidden magnets or strings, having a geologist examine the meteorite, seeking a child psychologist's take on recurring night terrors, installing additional cameras to triangulate an event during a renovation. None of those definitive follow-ups are provided in the public posts we examined. The footage stops where questions begin. Still, footage does something important. It preserves doubt. It invites scrutiny. It forces us to witness what a family lives through or what a creator finds on a midnight shift. These recordings, no matter their ultimate explanation, disrupt the ordinary. They pull at the seams of comfortable assumptions about our own homes, that furniture is inert, that walls keep us separate from the unknown, that night is simply a backdrop for sleep. They ask us whether, when the video is the only witness, we are willing to accept a mystery. If one common impulse runs through all 5 clips, it is this: people want answers. They document, they tell others, they ask for help, and viewers, scrolling in the dark, become part of the story. Skeptics, believers, troubleshooters, or comforters. Which of these 5 moments unsettled you the most? Was it the slow slide across the couch? The meteorite that seemed to breathe? The child's precise description of something adult eyes never find? Dakota's exhausted family trying to reclaim their home? Or the basement whisper that told a creator to leave? Tell us in the comments which clip you think is most likely a hoax, and which one you still can't explain. If you have footage like any of these, anonymized and safely shared, send it to the email in the description. We'll review submissions and, if appropriate, include them in future compilations. If you want more videos like this, like and subscribe, and share your thoughts below. These clips are small windows into ordinary lives suddenly unsettled. Maybe they're all explainable. Maybe some aren't. Either way, for tonight, look around your room before you turn off the lights.